Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. I have gotten a lot of new parts from my supplier for the Lada Niva engine. I got a new crankshaft, I got new bearings, I got new gaskets. I got hopefully all I need to do a quick rebuild of this engine. As some of you might remember, a wrong distributor caused a no oil pressure situation on this engine. It didn't run for long, but long enough to get some damage on the crankshaft bearings, and that's no good. So I am going to strip it down today. So everything is going so smoothly with this teardown of this engine, and as I have mentioned before, I have always believed that this has been a rebuilt engine and not the original engine for the car. I already think I proved that finding oversized shells on the bearings and so on. So the crank has been grinded down a little bit to oversize 1 or 2, I think. Everything is coming apart very easily. That's another giveaway. I can't remember that I have ever taken off the intake manifold and an exhaust manifold without snapping anything. Everything just came apart. I haven't even been careful about it. It's just zipping off very easy. But the crankshaft pulley bolt is really tight, so it's not going anywhere. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the entire assembly off, including the cover plate, to actually remove it, so I can clamp that crankshaft in the vise. It's not going to be reused, the crankshaft, so it doesn't really matter if anything happens to it. But I really need something more strong to take a hold around this one to be able to pull it off. So that's that. Other than that, it's really a nice teardown. So now I want to remove the valve cover. And then I need to decide whether to take off the cylinder head or not. So decision has been made. I'm going to strip the engine all the way down. I'm going to take the cylinder head off as well. I don't expect anything to be wrong up here. I'm not going to change the piston rings. I'm most likely not going to do a valve job. I'm going to check if it's tight, of course, but I'm not going to do much up here. But I don't feel confident that I can change the bearings on the con rods in a proper way without taking the pistons out and making sure that everything is all right. And I would like to check the bores a little bit better also. And just for ease of mind, and to be honest, it's not a lot of work more to do it right. It would just be nagging me. Remember, my plan is most likely to sell this car soon. I haven't completely decided because I really like the Niva, but anyway, no matter what I do, I want this engine to be in nice working condition. If I sell it, I need it to be working nice. I don't want to sell anything that is not good enough. And if I'm going to keep it for myself, of course, I want it to be running right. So off with the head. By the way, I'm also going to clean the outside of the engine to just make it look a little better. I might even paint it. I haven't decided. It seems to be looking pretty good. If I was a bit more clever, I would have done the cleaning of the engine before the teardown, because I really need to be careful not to get crap into the oil passages. But I'm going to clean everything anyway, so. And it's actually not that dirty, so I'm going to do it like this. This is a chain tensioner, by the way. Hopefully this is an okay way to remove it, but anyway, I will need to reset everything. There we go. It's a bit of an interesting design with this overhead camshaft, but still adjustable tappets. I really like that. I wish the Princess had the same. I'm going to remove the camshaft now. There's a bit of wear on the camshaft, but nothing too bad. Now I don't really know if these are stretch balls. I really doubt they are because of the vintage of the car and also being a Lada. I suspect they would manufacture it so it was really easy to maintain, and changing balls each and every time you take off the head is not easy in my opinion. I don't think so. But I've been wrong before about that, and that can lead to quite a lot of worry. Whoa, these are tight. That's crazy. So now that they are all loose, I can zip them the rest of the way using this. No washes. I love the smell coming from engines at this stage. It's just a very special smell down there. I don't think it's stretch balled. So nothing is looking scary, and it really shouldn't be because I don't expect anything to be wrong up here. Slightly wet over here, but it's just oil that has been pooling up over there, so that should be fine. I'm just going to remove the head gasket itself. Oh, it's going to take a lot of cleaning this. And I was not suspecting to find anything wrong with the head gasket, and everything looks just fine, so that's good. A lot of cleaning is needed here though. And again, I can see that this engine has been rebuilt. It is such a good condition on the deck, I mean. Nice hone marks, some scratches up and down also, but nothing I can feel, so I don't think it will matter anything. And it's important to keep track of the position and direction and all that on these, and I have marked them so I can put them back in the same way as I take them out. One piston. Another one. So I haven't found anything wrong just so far, but the piston rings are out of alignment on this one. I think they can spin around a bit when running the engine, but they are not supposed to be this close because yeah, I don't know how much it matters, but I always learn to try to keep them opposite of each other. All the bearings on the big ends were pretty all right. I checked them before in a previous video, actually, I think, stating that they were just fine. But this one, I must have overlooked slightly. The bottom end was a little bit worn. I think I remember looking at that. But the top one, this has been starving a lot. This is damage caused by that oil pump not spinning. I'm taking loads of pictures along the way because remember, this engine has been rebuilt and it got all different kind of numbers and markings on them. And it doesn't necessarily makes any sense. Not too bad. Slightly worn. This is all right. This got melting going on over here. Not good. And this one is really bad. In my opinion. Maybe this could run on for a long time, but I wouldn't like it. Let's try some brute force. Well, that was easy. Surprisingly easy. There we go. Now the chain should be all loose, like this. Now the engine should be ready to be put on my table so I can remove the crank, because I cannot take this part of it off with the engine in the stand. Okay, so I got the engine on the bench thingy. So this is the way it's going to be now. I have a lot of cleaning to do inside of this engine, of course. Not that bad, but there is stuff. You don't want crap inside your engine. If I should wind time back a little bit, I would clean the engine before reaching this point, because it would just be easier to avoid getting crap in there. But I'm gonna clean the outside and then I'm gonna clean the inside afterwards, and then it will be just fine. I want to show you the damage that I have found of this on this crankshaft. I know some of you has mentioned that I should just put it back together and drive it, because maybe it would work for a long time, and the damage is, to be honest, not that bad, but it's there. Wear marks that you can catch your nail on is a no-go on the crankshaft. It will wear out the bearing instantly. I would get rod knock or start to spin a bearing on the crankshaft or something like that really quickly. There's no doubt about that. I could have put this engine back together into the car and it would most likely have worked for a couple of 100 kilometers at least. And then problems would start to arise. I could be wrong, but it's just my feeling about this. And I'm not the only one, by the way. But let me try to show you a bit close up to show you some of the damage. Because on this main bearing, it will be hard to focus on for my camera, I think. Right there. You can maybe see a lot of striping marks down there. I don't think that's the main problem, because as long as you can't feel it, but I can feel it, and especially in the middle, right there, it's catching my nail. It's also looking really stripy. It's one of the big end bearings. I can't feel that one. On this one I can feel a groove. It's just not good. This one is also, it's really hard to focus on something with a mirror finish. But this is the new crankshaft. And I was given this for free by my supplier, along with a lot of other parts. Thank you for that. He has been a big help. This crankshaft, and I really hope that's right, is not meant for the 1600. It's meant for the 1700 engine. But it is the same. It should fit just fine on this engine, but the counterweights are bigger. it should make the engine a bit calmer in its culture or the vibrations. Other than that, it shouldn't really matter. It's not going to make it a 1.7. It's just going to make it a 1.6 with a 1.7 crank. I really hope it's no problem. It shouldn't be, and it looks pretty much the same, so I think it's just fine. On this one, there is a lot of rust prohibitor on the journals that I haven't wiped off, except this one. And this is how you want it to be looking. Mirror finish, and absolutely nothing to feel when you put your finger over it. But I'm just going to glove up once again, remove the rest. Oh, by the way, this one fell out of the engine. I don't know where it's from. It's a mystery nut. I most likely missed it from somewhere, so hopefully we'll find a place to fit this one when we go to put the engine back together. Otherwise, it could have just been lying around inside the engine. It fell out after I took off the valve cover and flipped the engine upside down again. Bloop, this fell out. I don't know where it's from. I really don't. I'm gonna put it over here and hopefully we find a reason for that. Well, let's go and remove this cover. I'm gonna remove the crankshaft because I suddenly just, you know, sometimes you can imagine stuff going wrong, even though it didn't actually happen. I just had a vision inside my head of me pulling this cover off and then with the elbow shoving the new crankshaft down on the floor, and that would not have been a good ending to this video. So I'm gonna remove it and put it somewhere safe for now. There we go. And then the crank should just be loose in here, ready to come out with bearing shells and all that. They are not going to be reused, so I'm not taking care of not damaging them. There we go. Key is out. So this is all for today. I think I'm actually gonna go and invest in a part washer, you know, one of those with a little brush to clean all this stuff up, because that way I can recycle the cleaning agent and don't have to use a bucket and all that. So I think that would be a really nice investment for this one. Oh, I need the thrust washers to come out as well. Okay, so I might actually have a little issue because I want to show you something. I don't know how easy I can film this because of lighting, but I have a lot of hone marks in the cylinder, in the barrels, and some scratches. You might be able to see some in there, but it's not feelable. A little more up here, still nothing is feelable. But then up here we have one that I don't like. This one right there. I can catch my nail there, but not a lot, but I can catch my nail there. Of course it's a problem, but I don't know how big of a problem it is. It is an old car and it's an old engine. I don't mind it being a little bit, using a little bit of oil, but I don't know how much this is going to affect it. Also, this was the barrel that was wet when I took off the head. You can still see it on the cylinder head. We got oil in here, but the other one is just dry. I think that might have been because the engine was upside down for a long time on the engine stand, so oil could seep down, but maybe because of that scratch. This is one of those instances where my lack of experience and just being a hobby mechanic is showing, because I really don't know if this is going to be a problem. I have one of these, a really not high quality hone, so I am considering trying to hone it. I have to figure out what to do. I might end up going to my local machine shop and asking their opinion. I would really not like to go down the oversized piston road. To be honest, I think this will be fine for the application, but it is a scratch and it could cause some oil burnage. I don't think it's going to hurt the compression though. It's just too little for that. But it is slightly worrying. All the other scratches that you can see are not feelable. So I'm not worried about those, but that one. But thank you for watching. Remember, you can support me on Patreon if you like. On the Patreon page is also some behind the scene footage from time to time. I actually uploaded a Q&A video a while back. There will come a link right there. And see you in the next one.